And welcome back to the Cinema Corner Men podcast with your host, the beautiful Jay Mara,
Hi.
and myself, Jacob. Today we're reviewing Greenland. As usual, there are spoilers this week, so yeah, go watch the movie. I'd recommend it.
Spoiler alert.
Yep, spoiler alert. Anyway, with that being said, this movie was directed by Rick Roman Waugh. I'm not sure how you say his last name, but yeah. What kind of themes did you have for this movie, Gemma?
The themes that I had were basically that life isn't fair, but kind of tying that into family is more important than anything. That's kind of what I got from this movie. More so the latter, because the whole movie revolved around his family and, regardless of everything that's happening in their, personal lives or in the actual world, I think their family getting back together was, the main take from this movie.
Yeah, the importance of family and protecting them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's exactly what I had.
Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do you say Greenland or Greenland?
Greenland.
Oh, I say Greenland. That's not important.
Getting into the good parts of this movie, I thought the world building was very, very nicely done in this movie. Like, I was never confused on what was going on, what the plan was, what they were doing. But there was just general confusion and hysteria from things like the media and just neighbors and stuff that was believable to me. Like, I was never having to suspend my disbelief too much while watching the movie, which I liked.
That's true.
Like, the movie took itself seriously, which helped me take it seriously. I feel like a lot of times, especially movies like these, the actors and stuff can kind of get out of it a little bit, and then it just all falls apart, and I think it's all hokey. But that wasn't the case with this one at all.
Yeah, I think I was definitely in it the whole time, and I never questioned anything.
Yep. What kind of good you got?
The first thing that I loved was the mom's relationship with the dad. I thought that was very interesting because they presented us this relationship and this broken family, and then they had to go through, this whole process of, protecting their family and them kind of showing us through this broken family. Like, it wasn't just a family that were like, oh, we're all happy family, mom and dad are perfect, they have a kid. Like, no, they had relationship problems and they kind of had to deal with that throughout the movie, and I love that. Like, that part of it kept me interested. And what else?
Yeah, going off that, I think quite the opposite of it. I still do. I agree at the start it did. It was very odd, and you're like, what's going on? You're trying to figure it out. But then for 95% of the movie, it's like you said, they were just normal. Like, they weren't really trying to figure it out or anything. There were 3 scenes total in the whole movie where they were actually addressing it. And
That's the point.
I don't. You say it's the point. I don't see it. For me, that's not the point. It's more of just a normal husband-wife dynamic than we're trying to get through something that's hard for us.
But I think when I say that's the point, I mean the theme of the movie was for you to think, okay, they're a family, they're a husband and wife, they're trying to get their kid and they're trying to get safe. Like, that's the theme. That's what they're trying to send you, the message, and that's the message that you got. 95% of the time, I completely agree. That's all you got. But the other 5% of the time was them dealing with their issues. And I think putting that in there just kind of, I don't know, it just made you think about what's more important. Like, their problem wasn't the most important part of the movie, which is exactly what I get from that.
That's fair. I can see that. To me, it just seems like it was added on, Like, they're like, man, this relationship, it's going too good. We need some sort of drama, something to make it more lively. and then they like added it in at the end. That's what it felt like to me.
Gotcha.
So whether or not that is the case, that's just
Right. That's how you took it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fine.
So, I liked Allison, the character.
Mm-hmm.
How she was facing like legitimate problems. It was able to break through them. Like, I don't know, just her character, I really liked it. It was a very good arc, I felt like. Like at the start, I didn't really like her that much. Like her character was like almost predictable. I don't know, something about it. It was just like, okay.
Like she's a scorned wife.
Yeah, scorned wife that can't really do anything for herself. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, like I think it's because in the beginning, when John he went to the house, they showed us his work scene, went to the house. She seemed like a secondary character. Like
she seemed, live at home mom. Yeah.
Right, like she seemed secondary, and then all of a sudden, she's dealing with all this stuff, and we're like, oh my gosh, like we actually see her character.
And they're all, problems and issues that, would be huge things for her, which I liked. It wasn't like they built like a male character and then just made her female. I feel like that happens a lot of times with characters, where it's like they're facing problems that aren't really problems for them, or wouldn't be problems for them in the real world, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Which I really like that these really felt like problems that she would face, yeah.
Right.
And she was able to break through them.
Yeah, I agree.
I really like her character, how it developed. Yeah, that's about all I have for the good.
I love that for this movie, I had so many questions. Like as the scenes went on, my mind was like going through all these questions, like what are these asteroids? What's the military doing? Why did they only choose those select few? Like I had all these questions, and I feel like as the movie went on, they did a great job of answering every single question that I had.
They did answer a lot of questions. I agree with that completely.
Yeah, and I really liked that because a lot of movies I'm watching it, and I'm like, what is it? I'm like, what? And then never gets answered.
Even if we had to like infer the answers, like the movie gave us information to infer them up based on.
Right, it was natural though. Like they didn't like.
Right, we didn't just have to make stuff up. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So
agree.
The pacing, in terms of that, for me, that was perfect. Especially at the end when they got to Greenland, I feel like no one asked any questions. It was just go, go, go. Like they got off the plane. They didn't care who you were. Like they're just like go, go. Like I don't know. Like I like that fast pace at the end. When literally they landed and then they were in the bunker and then they had to shut down. Like I think it would have been different if they landed and then they had to like find their way there and they were like it wasn't until like everything was fast paced towards the end, and I really like that about the movie.
It makes me wonder. I'm just now thinking about it. Why wasn't that the case the entire movie? Like, as soon as they got the call to go to the bunkers or whatever, I feel like that rush pace should have been kept up the entire time. The only time that I'm thinking of where it didn't was whenever they went under the bridge or whatever, and they spent like 5 hours just sitting there waiting for this thing to end. I don't know. To me, that seemed like a real big waste of time. I don't know.
Okay. I don't know. I think it's because throughout the movie, like we knew the timeline the whole time because they told you like the big asteroid's gonna come down at whatever whatever time, or the main one's gonna hit England at blah blah blah, whatever they said, and I think they slowed it down just so that we can keep up with them. So they kind of like came in between. For them, I'm sure, it was rush if this was real life. But
now I'm thinking about it also. The world-killing asteroid wasn't even known about until I guess well of a ways into the movie. Like at first they were just going there because everybody said to go to the bunker or to the plains or whatever. But it wasn't until like halfway through the movie before they're like, yeah, this huge one's coming in 24 hours and everybody's gonna die. So maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Another thing that I loved are the scenes that were heartbreaking. Like those are the ones that kept me really interested. Because then I was like invested in the family. Like when the boy got taken from his mother, Nathan, and he pushed Allison out, like my heart, that's when my heart was like in it with this family when those
That's my favorite scene. All right, my favorite scene, I guess, would be that. But I guess it's a sequence of scenes all the way. It's that scene when he first gets taken, the one whenever they're trying to get on the base.
Right, when the boy tells the military man and he's like, they're not my parents.
Yeah, his hoarse voice, he's like barely able to get it out. Oh. And then whenever she finds him, those three scenes like put together make the whole movie. Literally brought my entire rating of it up like 4 points. That was amazing storytelling.
Those combination of scenes, like that whole storyline of her losing him speaking up, and then her finding him, like it was insane. But I also loved when in the beginning when John went back for the medicine, and like that suspense of like the mom telling the military about the diabetes, getting refused, he gets on the plane, and the last second he gets off, like the whole time I was just...
There are quite a few points like that, yeah.
Stressing, because I'm just like, she's not on the plane. Oh my gosh.
I completely agree.
Whew. Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. That's
just
everything.
The sense of like hopelessness that it was able to convey is amazing to me. Mm-hmm. Like I felt hopeless, and I've never even been close to being in a situation like that, but I can just imagine.
Right.
How that would be.
Great job.
That's all I got for the good, though.
Same.
So I guess for the bad, my first one, I think I told you while we were watching the movie, but like I've seen a lot of like these like doomsday type of movies. I don't know why. They're interesting to me. And it's just convenient tropes in movies like these that I don't like. For example, like the cell phone's not working. I feel like that's not something that would happen at all anymore. Like in any way. Like if you don't have cell service, then you would have internet service, and you could get on like WhatsApp or something and get through that way. Like if you needed to get a hold of somebody, you could get a hold of somebody. Another thing is like why'd they have this huge, shelter built up ready for people, like the end all be all protection, like just because I guess they didn't have any reason for having this shelter built.
You don't think we have shelters now?
Okay, maybe that second one.
Catastrophic event.
That second one. But I don't know if we have, a whole system like this set up to have certain people that we've pre-chosen to go into these bunkers because of their jobs and stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. But another thing that seemed pretty...
I think...
But that might have just been a movie, plot point.
Right. Like, I don't think that, like, we have all of those things, but I think... a danger comes, they need certain people, they figure it out quick, they send people the messages. Like, I think that could definitely happen. In terms of, like, the list of people, I'm sure they can come up with that real quick. I think that I would have loved to see other people have their own bunkers. I don't know, I feel like only the military having a bunker that everyone's trying to get into just seems too...
like convenient, yeah.
Yeah, but also, I'm sure other people had bunkers. Like right now, I'm almost 100% sure there are multiple bunkers on this planet. So why not show us other ones? Like I would have loved to see other people's bunkers, even if it was just for like a short time, and. Because, like, maybe there'll be other survivors, like if there's a Greenland 2, and they're not all from the same bunker. You know, like why just focus on the military's plan? But like I said,
Right,
that
yeah,
probably could just be like the focus for the movie. But I hope like if there's a Greenland too, then maybe they like show other people and they're like, "Whoa, where did you come from?" And they're like, "Oh, we had a bunker or something," you know?
right, yeah. But then that'd be more of a like a post-apocalyptic movie, like a rebuild movie.
Right.
I agree though. I agree completely. That's another one. It's just for me, every time I notice something like that, it just kind of like sucks me out of the movie. Whenever, like the bunkers, like you said, why they're not more than just one place in the world. And
That's your mind because your mind's working and your perspective opens, and when they just want you to focus on the movie.
right, yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's about it though. I already told you the other thing I had was the relationship between the two of them,
Oh,
but
right.
we already went over that.
Yeah,
That's about all I got though.
I wouldn't change a thing.
Um, yeah, no, like I said, well, I guess we'll go straight into the ratings. I'll give this one a rating of a 8.5 out of 10.
Hmm.
For me, it's a fresh take on a relatively well-worn topic, which I like. Like it has several points throughout the movie that like legitimately keep you on the edge of your seat, like you said.
Yeah.
And I would just definitely recommend you go see this movie. It was really good.
Yeah, my rating overall was a 9.5.
Hmm.
Yes, a 9.5 because of those moments. Like, I don't usually get those moments in a lot of the movies that I watch, and those are the moments that I crave for when I watch a movie. My favorite types of movies are like action movies and kind of high intensity type scenes, and so this movie, 100%, it gave it to me.
I agree. Yeah, it's a great movie. But yeah, any last departing words?
Nope. Go watch this movie.
Go
You'll
watch
love
the
it.
movie. Thanks y'all for listening. See you next time.
Bye.